Hi there, I'm Lori with Co-Creating Impact and itstimesunshine.com, back with Christine. How are ya?
I am fantastic. I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me again.
Thank
This
you
is
so much for coming
really,
on.
I know this is like the best time to hang out and talk about the stuff that we don't want to talk about, isn't it?
I love it. And it's so needed. And you're so smart about it that I enjoy every conversation you have. What are we talking about today?
I thought we'd talk a little bit about fear and maybe disassociation and
Absolutely.
how actually one of the definitions of fear is almost the same definition of disassociation.
Go ahead now.
Ooh.
Go.
Ooh. So as a verb, because I'm gonna lay it down in English terms, y'all, dictionary it, thesaurus it. But as a verb, it is often avoid or put off doing something because one is afraid. And it's called hesitate, right? Hesitation. How many times is your disassociation about fear?
Well, I think that's kind of the name of the game because a lot of times, like when I go into my dissociative state, I feel like I come out and I'm like, well, why did I go in there? Where did that stem from? And it's typically a fear trigger.
It's a
Yeah,
safety response, right?
yeah.
For some of us, it's a safety response that we don't even know we're doing. Like the gaps in time or the
Mhm.
memories. How many times have you been in an argument with somebody and they're like, don't you remember what you said? Were you even in the room?
Well,
You
I'm the
know?
opposite. I just shut down. I'm like, I don't say anything.
Right, right. And then we go, okay, what is it to keep us safe? That's
Yeah.
our brain's number one job is to keep us alive. And number two is to keep us safe. So it's such a primal thing for our brain to just shut down and be in that fear state and then let our body respond the way we've always responded. And that is, okay, I'm going to be quiet until the fear passes, until I'm safe again.
Have you had experience with that?
Oh, yes, girl, I
Yeah.
can drive the disassociation station bus, like toot toot, like the train comes by. I
And
mean,
what do you do to help yourself through that?
I remember I do a mantra most of the time, and we do this a lot in group or in lives, just when people get really jumpy and they get tight. I do something that's called I am safe. And I literally reevaluate. I look around my room and I go, okay, there's nothing that's going to hurt me here. And I kind of remember I got to breathe because my tongue is on the roof of my mouth and my shoulders are up and I am tighter. I mean, you can bind me. It's ridiculous. I'm wound for sound. So I
Yeah.
unwind a little bit and I'm like, I'm safe around here. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I'm safe here, that means I'm safe here. And if I don't feel safe in here, what do I do? I just have to remind myself that I'm safe.
Mhm.
And as a new trauma survivor, as someone who's come in and like kind of hit over that bump of, am I safe? Like, okay, I feel kind of safe occasionally, but now it's, I'm going to pause. I'm going to remind myself that I am safe. And then I'm going to pause again. How hard is it to pause after you just wake up from disassociation? You're like, oh my gosh, I was doing something, right? And your anxiety kicks in
Right.
to go fix the thing that you were supposed to be doing. And you just found it was in your hands or you can't find your phone. Seriously, like how many times have you lost your phone in disassociation station?
Mhm.
Like keys, phone, whatever else. But having that pause and saying, I am safe and connecting and telling my body I am safe has been such a game changer in my disassociation because it's all based on my fear of doing or being present, my fear of a threat that's either in tone or an overwhelming or any part of my neurodivergence that gets ding dinged and overwhelmed. Whoo, I'm going toot toot to disassociation station,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because that overwhelming is fear for me. It's the same button. Pausing and just letting your body just say, you know what? I got you. We've done this. We've done this 1,000 times before. Just come back. when you're safe enough, and explore it and maybe play in it, and then go drink some water, take your meds, go eat some food that's good for you, and then work through that and be as present as possible. That's what's worked for me.
Can you share with us a little bit about your background, your story, your maybe some childhood incidents, anything that you can share with us?
Absolutely. So my anxiety and my disassociation started very early, as far as I would say probably around 9. And I want to say before that, but 9 is really when my learning disabilities hit. I had a major trauma happen. I was in the talented and gifted class, right? We were all the talented and gifted kids. And also my body changed hormonally, and didn't realize it then, but it was the beginning of my autoimmune disorders, even as far back as 9. So my disassociation was also the disassociation from my body. And it was because the sensations were so raw, because I was overwhelmed with making decisions I didn't have the capacity for. No one was showing me. Well, the best they could. I mean, good enough, and having the security and stability for me to say, wait a minute, something's wrong. I'm afraid. Why am I afraid? And what do I do? And it was so easy for me to go,
Just be silent and disassociate instead of seeing that trauma, instead of feeling that trauma and feeling the pain within, because it's all in our body. Yes.
and then expressing it verbally. How can you really express it if you don't have the words for it at 9? So as we grow, and as we grow into adults, we even still get stuck here with our words, and
In
being
our
able to
growth.
write it out, doing art, expressing that, getting in community where we share those things, and the commonality of, well, your disassociation looks like that, but mine looks like this, is still awareness that our brains do the same thing. And our body responds to fear in very primal ways still. So to keep us safe, we have all of these tricks we've learned. Now it's about, well, how can I let those tricks kind of like lessen up, and me be present and be accountable and attuned to who I am, and say that it's not okay if something does happen. That is a huge anxiety, fear kick in the face. And it's just builds your self-confidence and self-worth. For me, it did. And I went on for years to struggle with it. I don't know about you, but as an adult, I still struggle with disassociation and fear centers and physical sensations responding to fear, or even sensory processing. I struggle with that. And until I feel comfortable, safe, stable, or secure, I'm not coming back home for a minute, right? You can call me and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to agree with you, but there is nobody manning the tower. So for me, it's about being present, finding enjoyment in being present is so huge. And that's just small joy.
Yeah. And how do you find yourself being present besides the breathing technique? How do you pinch yourself? What do you do?
No, I honestly, when I come in, if I cannot have a full me moment of where it's honorable, it's with my integrity, and I'm accountable for what I say and do and who I am on and off and in all different areas, I need to check myself like before I wreck myself, just like OG said, right? So if I don't check myself and tune in and ask myself, am I safe? Yeah, I am safe. Well, then why are you afraid? Oh, well, I'm afraid because ... And it made ... happen in my brain. I trained my brain that way. Now I can work with it. And then I can work with my body, pause, give myself priority, come back in and say, now I can be present.
And how did you get to that point yourself, going from, okay, I recognize exactly where that fear, pinpointing it? Did you journal? How did you come to that?
Oh, I came to that through a whole lot of blood, sweat, tears, muddy. I mean, it felt like the Spartan race of my life for years. It is not an easy, clean way to come and be a trauma survivor in multiple areas. None of that is, it's never linear. What happened for me was I educated myself around what trauma does and normalized what trauma does in my life so that it lines up with my expectations. And that for me is saying, I am not perfect. Do not want to be perfect. I am happy ish when I am me. And when I am me, if I can just be present and learn, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm the most alive. Because I
Mhm.
want to be alive now. I don't want to be just existing. I want to see it. And that changed just in me going through so many dark nights of the soul and so many therapy appointments and all types of meds and therapy and books and all of the things and bringing them together and saying, yeah, that's truth for me. And it might not be true for everyone else, and that's okay. But I
Mhm.
know what works now and I know the parts. And that takes so much fear out for me. Knowing that my body is going to do what my body is going to do and it's not a soul issue. Cool. I can work in that all day long. I have disabilities. It's priority. It's priority of myself being present. And
Mhm.
that whatever that looks like, that's okay.
And we talked about on your very first episode here a little bit about your immune diseases, and because they are related to the trauma. So just touch a little bit, because you did mention that 9 years old you started. If you want to just explain a little bit about what you have.
Sure. Sure. So at about 13, I was about in sixth grade. I remember losing my eyesight in my left eye. And it was not a thing that I really recognized. It was like, oh, my eye is kind of weird. Like, I was like, I can't see anything. We went to the ophthalmologist, I got glasses, and, my eye was kind of fine. I went on to lose my eyesight in my left eye 4 more times.
Hmm.
And that was from optic neuritis. That was the first indicator of multiple sclerosis for me. And multiple sclerosis, now we have no, excuse me, I'm sorry, my eye just, now that I said that, now my eyes are like, hey, don't talk about it. Um, you might bring it back, don't talk about it. But multiple sclerosis, one of the first indicators is optic neuritis. And it is when your optic nerve is attacked by your immune system, because it literally thinks that its job is to eat your central nervous system and soft tissues and all kinds of crazy things. So I went on with that. But in the age that you and I grew up, how often did you get it? And it was genetic also for me. I want to say genetic. My maternal grandmother passed from multiple sclerosis.
Hmm.
So
I'm
the
sorry.
link, yeah, the link was there already. The predisposition was there for me. And then add the stress and the changes of hormones and all of the things that happen in sixth grade. Oh, sixth grade. So for me, that was just an on and off switch. And then I dealt with it for so long. I was 30 before I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And it was the optic neuritis again that caused me to go in and say, something's wrong.
Wow.
Something's real wrong. Yeah. And that led to so much more of me knowing where I begin and where my flesh prison is.
Now, was your trauma, did it happen before that age? The
There are some things. I think everyone has great, deep wounds as children, because don't we all, like, just growing up and learning how to be children. I believe that there are so many things that were small without coping skills, and that added up on top of the body changes that added the stress, and then the inflammation came. And
Mm.
then once the inflammation comes in, it's like, well, I can't bring down the temperature no matter how much ice pack you put on me, because it's all over.
Yeah.
And in that inflammation, that's where I struggled. I struggled with depression. I struggled with mental health changes, rapid mental health changes, physical changes, numbness, tingling,
Mm.
eyesight, depression, all these things, memory loss, temporary amnesia. Um, I, and it's not just in my head, it's in my C spine and my T spine.
Oh,
So for me to even be here, I'm tickled. I'm like, this is the go round. Let's go. I don't know how long this is going to hold out.
yeah.
But it also let me know that I am just a human being. And no matter what my suffering is, your suffering is also a human issue. And I can see that and recognize it no matter what the label is. No matter what that DX is, and no matter what meds you're on, and no matter what mental health issues you have, or what is going on in your trauma, I understand, because I too am a human being. And we've
Yeah.
lost that humanness. And
Yeah.
that's what I love to see in human beings is, let's do the human thing. Let's talk about the fear. Let's
Yeah.
talk about all of the autoimmunes that come from trauma.
Yes.
So thank you for asking me.
Thank you so much, Christine, for coming on. I really appreciate your time and your energy. You're a blessing, and thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
Bye.
Bye.